Michelle, or Mitch, as they say. How are you doing today?
Good. I think we gotta keep you as the Mitch though. Like you gotta be the only one.
Well, it's like, I met somebody one time, and when I used to work at CAT, there was somebody that came to visit the facility, and he had the same name as me. I've never seen it before. And I was like, at CAT, they've got these giant hallways. They would mark them like distances, like for if you're going to walk for your health at lunch. So this is an eighth of a mile, this is a quarter of a mile. And I saw him at the end of this hallway. And I was like, "Hey, Mitch." He's like, "Mitch." I said, "There can be only one." And I think it scared him because he turned around and left.
It gets crazy enough to actually do something about making that there will only be one Mitch.
Well, yeah, I think it's fair.
Yeah, I mean, if some guys like scream down and then the hallway there can only be one, like
Yeah, yeah, that's now that you put it that way.
reasonable choice to run.
And now you're also dialing in from Michigan today. And I know it's Michigan, but unfortunately, because I was looking at my friend's weather today. I have a friend I talked to in Illinois, another one down in Florida. They've got beautiful weather, but I think you and I have the same weather.
It's gorgeous outside right now. So
Damn it.
yeah, I think it's just you. I like
Yeah.
it's sun, it's in the 60s, it's beautiful. I'm okay with this.
Yeah, okay, then you guys win because it's like I swear it's like the fifth week of rain in Austin, Texas, and that never happened, so I shouldn't complain. But but thanks for dialing in today. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while.
I know we've talked a couple of times, but we haven't seen each other in over a year.
It might be coming on too because I think the last time was when you guys were down here and we all went out to Salt Lake Barbecue, which was great, by the way, I thought.
Well, and that's where we did the haunted walking tour of Austin,
Oh yeah.
and you got another guest on the podcast.
Yeah, you guys should check it out. It's like Halloween, like maybe 2 years ago, the episode where I had the host from Walking Haunted Tours of Austin on as a guest. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, we did watch that one afterwards because we were like, we absolutely have to. You met him while we were on the tour, and it was a cool tour.
Yeah, it was a cool tour, and there was a lot of interesting stuff because that also resulted in another one or two episodes because there's been a lot of creepy stuff going on in Austin, including serial killers. But well, in my opinion, serial killers. But I should also point out that I took a drink from my Mitch Wonders to go mug today, traveling mug, and I should point out to everybody that's not available on the merch store. But there is it was a gift from someone, but there's a lot of stuff on the merch store at mitchwonders.com. It's an upgraded web page, and it take you to the merch store. But also merch store, I want to point out real quick that there's one shirt for sale in there that is dedicated primarily. Every penny from that shirt goes to support the National Veterans Foundation. So it's a site that means a lot to me, and it's supported by veterans, run by veterans. So if you get to the merch store and if you want to help out two causes, well, actually just the one because every penny will go to them. But uh, but yeah, I mean, I'm glad because as I put together these episodes, sometimes I'm thinking, who would I want to talk to? And then you popped up, Michelle. When I was thinking about this one, it's about big moments in life where people talk about you know and like say in your case, like oh you've had a baby, oh you got married, oh you've got and it's like that's the milestone. That's like they
Yeah,
were like oh you got it all, but nobody understands what went in to get all that, to do all that.
yeah. The day to day is a lot different, and the getting there is a lot different than a lot of people think of or like fully understand. Cool.
Yeah, I guess it's like what quote unquote big life moments. And for me, because I'm like twice your age. So for me, they're different. I am, seriously. But
Yeah, you're
you don't have to
close.
doubt it. You can stop thinking. You can
I've
stop
done them.
thinking. But
Yeah, math is close.
but for me, it's more like of course I've done the marriage, I've raised kids, and now retired. So people are like, "Whoa, that's quite the I wish I was it." Well, it's like, what have you been doing the last 40 years? I don't want to tell them that. But
Secret.
it- yeah, well, it takes a lot to get there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I married a little bit later in life, like had our son a little bit later than I'd say some or most. And so, a little bit different path than others might take to get, because I was in my 30s for both of them. And, it's a little bit different than your marriage and kids were quite a bit younger.
26.
Yeah.
26 years old. Yeah, but that's one of like there's been two things in my life I've always known. And one was that I don't know why I would be married with two kids at age 26. And I was. I didn't know how one of my kids would come to the family, but it happened. And but yeah, but once you're in it, the I guess well, first of all, it's like, meaningful lives cost something. It's like, and it's not a big cost, but it does take a lot of work. But once you're in that reality, you're in the situation that you dreamed of, it looks a little different than what you picture
Oh,
sometimes.
yeah. When we got married, actually, we just had our wedding anniversary a couple days ago.
Hey, congrats.
Thank you.
I was at
Um,
your wedding.
you were at my wedding. You had a
That was
very
fun.
cool suit too. Um, and the blue one.
Yeah, yeah, thanks. I like that suit. I mean, that's the only time I've ever worn
It was very cool.
it.
We've been married for 3 years, and sometimes, like, some ways, like, it feels like it was very short. In some ways, like, we've gone through a lot. We've done, like, just home renovations, which, if you want to test a marriage quickly, like, we redid our
Yeah,
kitchen immediately after the wedding, and so, you know, gotta test that really early on decision making and losing access to your kitchen and most of the first floor of your house for 3 months. um, then
that's a good call.
yeah, I mean, if you're gonna make it through it, you gotta test things out really early.
That's a good. I don't know where. That's probably in, like a lot of this. I'm looking back in retrospect. It's like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, maybe I should have waited my 30s too. But what was it? What was different than what you expected? Because I had, in my mind, I see the married with two kids, the house on the corner lot. I don't worry in my mind. I'm not worried about cutting the grass. I just see birds and sunshine. I'm not worried about. I'm not. I'm not worried about bills. I'm just like, hey, honey, I'm home. Oh, that's great. How was work today? But that's not how it was.
No, I'd say, like, the marriage didn't change as much as I thought it would, because we had been living together prior to getting married, and so, like, the moving in together was definitely a learning curve. Um, we like I'm someone that, like, I prefer to do, like, my big projects and everything on the weekends, and, like, I'm gonna get up in the morning and get right into it. And that
Oh
is
yeah,
not how he is. He prefers to do those projects, like, a little bit at a time after work every day, and then on the weekends that's where he's chill. And so, where we were figuring that out of, okay, I'm going to do a little bit after work, he's going to do a little bit more on the weekends, of, like, trying to meet in the middle with those things. That was one of our, like, first initial, like, just the day to day of, he's sleeping in, I want to go do something. And so
yeah,
sorting that
yeah.
out was not
We
something
we
I
we, we learned a lot too about moving in together too. I mean, luckily for us, it was kind of, I don't want to say seamless. Again, I'm looking back, that was a long time ago. But you want to hear something that I learned when I moved in with her that I didn't know until then? You can have beer in your own fridge. I had no idea. It's like, whoa, what a concept.
I think Nathaniel learned that dinner every night doesn't have to be, like, he would eat the same thing over and over again until he got sick of it, and then he'd move to the next thing over and over again until he got sick of it. And, like, I prefer a little bit more variety in my meals,
Oh yeah, I
and
have to. I
um,
mean, I don't mind having like lunch the next day, which is leftovers from dinner the
oh
previous day. Yeah, that was, I mean, that was a great
yeah, I mean,
workflow.
that's
I mean,
perfect, because
I
then I don't have
know,
to cook.
right? But there's a shift. I mean, that's like an identity shift. Going like a little bit higher level, and it doesn't happen like you say all at once. It's kind of gradual. You go from the Michelle and the Nathaniel, and then it becomes the Nathaniel and Michelle together, and then it's Nathaniel, Michelle, and a child. So it's like it's a change. And when my wife and I got married, one of the reasons we got married because we had to be legally married in order to adopt my oldest son. Back then, that was the rule in Illinois. That's one of the reasons. But so we kind of went from individual to partners to parents real quick, real quick.
Yeah. I mean, we went, our son was born about a year, a little over a year and a half after we got married. Let me see, do math, 2 years. After we got married. And I think that was one of the other, like, getting married a little bit later in life. You know, growing up, everybody's like, you like, beware of the oops babies, or like, not planning for it, like, be really careful. And getting married later, trying for kids later, like, it takes longer, and there's additional, like, we ended up having to go through IVF, and those things, the emotional ups and downs with that, really changes how you view the marriage, how you view each other. And like, you lean on each other a lot more because you're the only ones going into that particular piece. But it also kind of, it strengthened our relationship quite a bit. Like, he gave me every single shot. And about and hundreds of shots over that time. And he only pricked himself 3 times, um, from giving me the shots. Um, but yeah, it was one of those things where, like, nobody expects or nobody talks about, of like, oh, it, like, be careful, don't get pregnant when you're not trying to, and then when you want to, like, it's not quite the same situation, when you're older. But then, when when he was born, I'd say, the other thing nobody talks about is babies don't sweat.
What?
Um, Yep. We had, one of our big surprises, like, pretty early on. We were like, he was 2 days old, 3 days old. Had to stay in the hospital a little bit longer with jaundice. And so they had him under, like, the blue light to help with the jaundice. And they had, like, it's kind of, it looked like a heating pad, but it had blue lights on it too to help, with it. And middle of the night, getting up to change him, and like, he is soaked. And we're like, oh my god, like, the lights are too hot for him, like, he's overheating. Like, we were freaking out. We go and grab the nurse. He comes in, like, helps us reset up the station, get everything changed out and everything. And we're both sitting there panicked as we're overheating our kid. Like, he's sweating. This is We talked to the pediatrician about it the next morning when he came in to do his rounds. Newborns don't sweat. That was pee. Um,
Oh, wow. Wow, that's
One nurse should have told us because we're
yeah,
so
yeah.
panicked. But yeah, he just peed through his diaper, but like, we didn't know, and we both panicked the rest of the night. Of like, this thing's overheating him. We got to make sure he's okay. And until the pediatrician was like, yeah, no, the thing that you
That's
were
interesting.
feeling all over, like, trying to,
Yeah.
that was pee. That was not
Did you
sweat.
did you look at your hands when you said that? Did you?
No, I mean, I washed my hands multiple times in
Okay.
between them. So like, but like, there was definitely a look, Nathaniel and I shared, of going, we were touching a lot of pee at that exact moment, thinking it was sweat and
Yeah.
being super concerned about it. But As just a little fun fact, in case nobody talks about it. Like, you didn't know
That is a
that
good
baby.
fun fact. Well, and I've got more for you because I'm older if you want, but you've heard, well, I'll stop saying that because this fact shall remain evident. But you've heard like terrible twos. You've got the newborn stage going on. You got watch when they, turn 5 and then, they warn you about teenagers. That's real. That's real. But also I'll give you a hint right now so you don't feel bad when you do it for the first time. If you've never flipped the middle finger at the back of your kid's head, then you're not a real parent. So don't worry, it's going to
I
happen.
I have not done that yet. I mean, he's still an adorable, like, 10-month old, where
I
like,
know. I agree.
he's
I know
cute.
it'll come. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
guessing in my mind it was like 2.5, 3 years old. Both of them like earned it. Like you little bastard. But maybe one earned it for the other. But let me ask you something because you're talking about, is there a time that you realized you weren't the same person anymore? But was there ever like, can you think of one moment you're like, well, this is my life now?
um, I think there it was a couple, like, months after he was born. He was maybe 3, 4 months old. I had 10 weeks off after he was born. Nathaniel had 12 weeks. So I did mine first and then he did his after. So that way we were keeping him out of daycare a little bit longer to build up his immune system. And I think it was Nathaniel had just gone back to work. I was at work, baby was in daycare, and it's a race, like coming home from work or getting done with work around
Oh,
5. Like baby's bedtime is 7. And like he is over the shit at 7. Like, do not try to keep him up later. He's done.
good for
Um
you.
and but then like it was a race of like, okay, got to get him picked up from daycare, got to get all of the bottles and everything washed from daycare, get everything prepared for the next day, got to get dinner made, make sure like play with the baby, spend time with
Wow.
him,
Yeah.
and sometimes there was bath nights and stuff. And so that was and then on the weekends I'd spend like a couple hours like meal prepping stuff for both him and us because he had just started eating solids. And I got to the point where I was like, I feel like I don't ever have a second for myself. I feel like I'm always just like on the go. Like I don't even when he goes to bed at night, like afterwards we're still getting everything ready for the next day. We're like meal prepping stuff, cleaning up from the things that we didn't have a chance to do earlier. And it's like, man, like I love that, like I love him, love all the change, but like man, this is a lot. Um
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I mean, you're bringing back so many memories because it's
yeah.
like, and it's like, I catch myself as you're saying that. I'm thinking to myself, did I ever look over at my wife and say, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" I mean, like you two are you're going. I mean, that's why I say like people see these milestones. It's like, wow, look at Michelle. She's got it all. She's married with kids. Great job. And like, and you're like in your mind, you're like, these demands don't disappear. Your home
No.
responsibilities increase. I know the job you've got. That's bananas. And work demands don't disappear. Uh, but I can think of, because you're well aware, like later on, I raised two young boys on my own, and time and energy get stretched. But I was thinking about that this morning when I was reading this. I don't care how dead you are, you've still got stuff you've got to do.
Oh yeah.
And you don't realize it until like maybe sometime. Like I remember like sometimes my sister, who lived near us at the time, hey, can we go over to Aunt Kathy's? I'm like, oh, I don't know. Well, okay. But I was like, oh, decompression. It's like,
You can now watch this child.
oh my God. And they had a riot at Aunt Kathy's. I get that, but wow. I mean, but does that feel like you're doing a lot but never quite getting anywhere?
Yes, I think it's gotten better. Like the early months of both of us back at work, him in daycare, and like I was still pumping. Like it was just there. It felt like there was just this never-ending to-do list. We still have a never-ending to-do list, but it feels more manageable now, or at least like we've gotten better at hiding some of the things that we're like, yeah, this isn't
Yeah.
as important. Like we were lucky enough to be in a position that ended up hiring like a cleaning service for the house every other week. Um,
Oh, that would be
like
banana. That would be great.
it was one of those situations where I like we originally looked into it and I was like, no, like that's kind of expensive. Like we can do it, it's fine. And then I think it was probably like 9 or 10 o'clock at night one night where I was trying to clean, like we are both trying to clean, we like both trying to get ready to like for work the next day and sleep. Like this, no, with this is not sustainable. This is something we we can have somebody else do this and take this off our plate. And he was
And
hesitant
no,
about it at first, and
no,
then like
knowing you guys both, I can see you both doing it. I can see you both like sweating and passing each other quick and like going
yeah,
like
yeah,
but also, I mean, I'll give you another heads up. Later on in life, when you don't have one of those demands, like just say work, that's one of those things that fall away. So there's like those expenses that's no longer expenses and it's no longer weird. It's so but do you
yeah.
ever feel like, I mean, I know it's tough and you can admit it, it's only like me, you, and like maybe five or six listeners but do you ever feel like you're falling short, like even if nobody else sees it?
Yeah, and that was like right when I first went back to work, it felt like it was definitely one of those like when I was at work, I was thinking about the baby and like even though he was with Nathaniel when I first went back, it was, hey, I should be there. And then like when I came home, I where I work, they have a very nice like ramp back program. You can ramp back and like come back for several weeks at either 50 or 75%. Um, and I did 75%. So it was like a nice ease into work situation. So I had Fridays off and then I had a short
Yeah.
Tuesday. And I had I tried to be very strict with like I'll move my hours around if like people needed the help, but like I'm going to be strict on taking the time for my family, taking the time with my son to like ease back into this. And like that was it was allowed, it was something that was offered. I like everything was sorted through it, but I still felt very guilty for using the time that was offered there.
Did you?
Um I did. It took me a bit to get over it. Um, but now and like I'd say I got a lot more comments than Nathaniel did on judgmental ones of us doing daycare, me not staying home. And especially right after I came back, that was tougher than I expected, especially from like unexpected sources of like people that I like both of like they're both man and woman, or like man and woman in their relationship. Like they both worked or their kids were in daycare, stuff like that. And then like I was getting a little bit of judgment from some of those sources, and I was like, "Excuse me, um, you
Well,
made the
I'll be.
same choice."
You should know. You should know because again, you and I worked in the same place, and first of all, let's go real back in time real quick, and then I'll get back here. But there was like when we first met. I know you love this story. I love it too. But we were working on launching a technology at a site, and I'll just to save people the misery of going through it. There was some point where I probably took a liberty I shouldn't have, and you came back and let's just say you checked that real quick on the. So there was a lot. There was a while we were like knocking heads, but now look at us. I mean, I've
Yeah,
we're
I
friends, we're
honestly think
pals.
like I think that broke down a lot more barriers of us.
It
Uh,
may have, and
I because I don't think we ever fought after that. Like we disagreed on stuff, but like I don't think we ever had like
yeah,
a an argument after that. And also, like when we were doing that, I brought you after that. I brought you Tim treats. Um,
mango, yeah.
uh,
I'll never forget. So you probably scared the hell out of the vendors too. So that helps because we
I
got them
did,
in
but
line real
I
quick.
still see them, and like they're not scared of me anymore.
But in reference to you taking time off, I mean, I remember being as I'm working this place, I've seen like our friend Sam, our other friends have taken time off for that, and because I didn't have it when I was growing up, we didn't have paternity leave, and I barely think there was any maternity leave. But for paternity leave, when you guys were off, I'd be honest with you, because let's say you're off for 10 weeks. First 2 weeks, I'd be like, that son of a bitch. But after that, you're like, oh, well, let's just get going. So I
Yeah.
didn't, just so you know, it's like people know and they understand. And when you get back, they're genuinely glad to see you. So just so you know, if in case that was bothering you at all.
I like I did feel like I my baby was born in July, as you know. Then July, and we had 4 months off prior, or not four
Wait a
months,
minute,
4 weeks
wait a minute.
off prior.
Did we talk about that before? Are we close in birth dates?
Yeah, he's 4th of July.
Oh, I thought you meant you were born in July.
Oh no, he is.
Oh, okay, yes, we are. He's 17 days behind me, just so you know. And our size extra large shirt, in case you know.
In case
Well, I
anybody.
mean, so I'm looking back, and like I say, you saw my image, of it, and I don't want everybody. This is all about, all these burdens. It's not worth it, and it's like, it's less about that, and it's more about nobody tell you what's, because I think we both can agree, and we talked a little beforehand. We're at lives we chose to get, and we're glad we got here, and it takes work to get here. But even with everything going on, I mean, is there something that no one really told you that would have helped? Because you saw my image, it ain't all like fresh cut grass and birds, it's everything else.
I think, especially in the early days, I think I should have, or I wish I would have been told, like, we're in the position to be able to take things off of our plate, like hire others to do things for us, like the cleaning service. Like, We also started a meal service every once in a while,
Oh yeah,
and
which one?
Factor meals. Um,
Yeah, I'm gonna do
and
an episode about that, by the way.
oh, I enjoy it, like, because I'm the main meal planner chef in the family. Um,
I was
especially
too.
now with well, especially now with the baby of trying to like have a variety of foods, well-rounded foods, like with him eating. Like when it was the two of us, I didn't care as often where we'd have, a random mismatch of whatever was left in the fridge or just kind of like a surprise dinner.
Yeah,
But
ha
now,
ha ha! Look what we're eating today. Like,
yeah, yeah. When it was the two of us, it was kind of like, meh, whatever. Like we ate. But now I'm trying to
yeah,
be
yeah.
far more intentional with his diet, than I was with ours. Um, and he'll eat anything, and so I'm like, I want to encourage that. So that's helped me. Uh, I was trying to do that all by myself, and like trying to come up with all these menus where I'm reusing certain things, but I'm not like I'm offering variety and then grocery shopping for it, meal prepping for it, all this stuff, and like I was making it a little bit more complicated than I needed to do. And I wish I had started off with either like doing a meal service or something like that, that taking valuing my time that I can have with him or valuing the time that I can have to do other things for myself um,
Wow, amen.
differently and saying like, hey, I don't need to spend 3 4 hours on a Sunday meal prepping for everything, and you know he's fine, we're fine. I can cook enough to that he has homemade meals, but also enough that he has a well balanced diet and everybody's happy and I'm sane. And I like
I love it.
I, I wish I would have I wish I would have been either told that or if I had listened to it a little bit sooner.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
I mean, because I did the same thing, and for me, it was, I would have to work sometimes both weekend days, and just to make money to get by. And I really wish I had uh, prioritized more time with the kids. Maybe not. Maybe they're like great. Maybe maybe Dad prioritized a
really,
little less. We should go to Aunt Kathy's more. But for me, it was like I wish somebody would have explained financial planning. I mean,
oh,
I didn't have a lot of money, but I mean, I should have been paying more attention early on, to start saving, to start putting. I didn't have an emergency, fund until like 7 years ago.
oh my god,
I know. See, it's kind of scary, but
yeah. And I think that is one of the benefits of at least getting married a little bit later, having kids a little bit later. Of um, I've had a financial planner for probably 10 years at this point, maybe a little bit more. Um, and so like he was financially planned for, like that was something that when I was pregnant with him,
oh yeah,
we met with a financial planner, and like he's got his college fund is like funded for at least the moment right now of like being able to plan for that and do those sorts of things. Also, that was another one of those items when I was like just starting to earn a little bit more, where I was like, this is one of those things that like I don't know it well enough and I don't want it on my brain um to like continuously monitor, look at the
yeah,
risk assessment, etc. And so I farmed that out to a absolutely wonderful financial planner, and she helps guide me on that one and keeps keeps me keeps me stable on where I'm get a little nervous on any situation. So
yeah. I agree completely. I mean, my son and I had, my youngest son and I shared. And by the way, as far as tuition goes, I'd like to thank yourself and everybody for paying their taxes because the GI Bill paid for my youngest son's all the way through to his master's degree. So I appreciate that. My oldest was not interested in it, so I got lucky. But I had a friend that again worked at the company we used to, and he was in finance, and he's the one that helped just generally guide me. But later on, like recently, a couple of years ago, he became an official financial family planner. He left that company to pursue what he was passionate about. So that helped quite a bit. And I'll tell him right now, his name's Alex. That's all I'm going to say. But Alex has turned myself and my son into financial robots because we he told me like he's like, yeah, I'm going to be flying out to Washington. I'm like, I know he just got back from Scotland. I know he just got back from Maryland. I'm like, what's your look? He's like, trust me, Dad. I've got a budget. I've got an emergency fund.
It's
Like, so it's
okay.
like, so Alex has created robots, but I'm not going to give him credit for that. But but it's but I sure would have. Like I said, I didn't have much money then, so financial planning wouldn't have been important, but to the extent that it is now. But I could have started. But let me ask you something. We both agree that we've gotten to a point in life where this is pretty good. But
Yeah.
would you still choose this life?
Oh, every time.
Really? That was easy enough.
I'm I view it as I mean, asked me several years ago and may have had a different answer, but I have a wonderful husband, I have a wonderful son, and if I had made any different choices, maybe that wouldn't be the
It
case.
might
Or
not have
like,
led to that. Yeah.
and
Yeah,
so
you're very true. Because
I'm not risking anything. There I enjoy the work that I do. I enjoy the other things that are going on in my life. There's nothing that I would want to risk my family on to say like I'll change this small detail or change this item and say like let's roll the dice and see what happens if I get to keep them if I were to change something.
you'd be surprised. It's something. I mean, again, from my perspective, you'd be surprised at some of the things you're doing now. You're not thinking of. It's going to contribute to the long term stability and the life you've built. It's just gonna make it better almost by accident. Those kind of things that happen to me. And people talk about, because I've been through divorce, unfortunately, and that's one. I've got like two regrets in life. That's one. But if I look back, like you're saying, I've got two great kids. One has started his own family. The others, they definitely, they both done. I'm very proud of both of them for standing up at some point and getting out of the Illinois Valley and pursuing their life's interests. I mean, and they both done great at doing it. So, and I live now, granted, it's alone, but I live in I
And
think
your
one of the
squirrels.
best. Don't bring them up because I won the battle with the squirrels, but don't change, don't tempt them. But I live in I think it's probably one of the best cities in the best state in the best country in the world, and I'm retired and I'm not worried about it. So life is pretty good.
Yeah. Would you said the two regrets? I think the divorce was only one. What was the
Oh, good. Let's rub some. Let's breathe. But Uh, honestly, I never got to serve my country. I
mm,
tried. I mean, I tried when my boys got old enough that they were both gone from home, and I knew like that I was now an empty nester. I tried to join the army at age 48,
and they
and
said no thanks.
yeah, they're like, yeah, a little bit, yeah, because I checked all the branches of the military. The Marines, nope. Everybody else had a younger age limit or age, base. So I figured they were 42. Maybe I could sneak in. And they're like, nope. So I can't change it. But yeah, it's I still look for opportunity now, and I still will take the swim. Like I've got just search for the Red Cross. I'm trying, if there's a opportunity for Red Cross recently, Michelle, or like you could do this, but you'd have to like quote unquote deploy to another part of the world for 6 months, which I have a problem with. But the six countries they had, two of them were already terrorist alerts. So I mean, imagine like 6'2" kind of light-skinned individual walking in their country, gonna be a kidnap target, I think. So maybe I better not take that opportunity. But okay, look, we talk about a lot of it's a lot of work and stuff like that. I don't want people thinking nothing, but what turned out better than expected?
Um, man, I would say like I just in general, all of it, I did not expect. So son's 10 months old, and it's the little things that I knew parts of it were going to be hard. I knew parts of it were going to like bring a lot of joy, but just like when he smiles at me, at like I grabbed him from his nap earlier, and so I have Saturday mornings are mine early morning with him. Sundays are my husband's early morning with him, so we both get a weekend day to sleep in. Um, and just like picking him out of the crib, and he's just smiling at me and babbling, I'm Dada. Everybody's Dada. You can say Mama, but everybody is Dada. Dada is the preferred word. Um, so just hearing him say like nothing melts my heart faster than when he actually chooses to say Mama, or when he's smiling at me, or like he loves when you like tickle his tummy and like has a great time with it, or like when he lights up when my husband walks in and they're playing together. Like I don't I knew it would be good. I didn't know that it would be as good as it is. Um, and you know, we have a cat. Pretty sure the cat is
Oh,
my
really?
son's favorite person. Oh, 1,000%. Like my, you know, Nathaniel and I could be in the room and the cat walks in and just, oh my God, like he's screaming and excited. Of course, the cat's a little bit of a scaredy cat, and that terrifies him because now the little now with him being mobile, all all bets are off with actually reaching the cat. Like he used to be in the area when Roan would be on the ground because he was immobile. He was fine. It's not safe anymore. Um, so yeah, like those pieces of it where like knew they'd be good, didn't know exactly how good.
We had pets, and you know, dog. I'm going thinking in my head, like that dog just. We had one dog that just couldn't stop procreating. So we had. I remember I said later, like later, I had made a deck a ship in the garage, and I had to use one of the old plywood signs I had that had written that said "free puppies" on the back. So that's I all the time. And when the boys and I moved out alone, oh, it got a little weird. But one wanted I can't remember what kind of lizard it was, but he wanted a lizard, and we had to have it in a terrarium. Yeah, I know. We have it in a terrarium, and occasionally I would have to go to the pet store and buy crickets to.
Mm.
I know it's horrible, and you shake a little bag of you know where you're shaking them to their death, and but but yeah, it's just life.
Yeah, I am bracing myself. I do not do snakes. Period. No snakes. Um,
No, not a
I
fan,
am
not a fan.
I am bracing myself for the day where my son asks for a pet snake, and the answer is going to be no. Just blanket. Like I
Straight
don't do.
up. I've been
Um.
there too. They wanted the python.
Oh no. We were moving into our house, and I saw a snake in the grass. My like this was like maybe the fourth day that we owned the home. My first text was to Nathaniel saying we have to either move or burn the house down. There's a snake in the grass. Like I'm out. Did not do either of those things, but like kind of wanted to.
Oh, I get it. I get it. Wow. I almost got chased out of my Virginia home by skunks. It's a different story, but in Virginia, the critters, that's what they called them, and they thought it was cute, and it's nothing cute about critters. But they would. I bought a home down there, and it had a crawl space, a nice one. I could put like garden stuff, but I didn't realize that. I noticed that they had bars on the windows. I'm like, what do you need bars for? This is ridiculous. But the groundhogs, skunks, I don't know what else, winos, they would like burrow their way into my crawl space. And I remember when I was moving from Virginia to Pennsylvania because Kat had relocated me to Pittsburgh. I was selling my house that day, and I woke up in the morning and I got out of bed and I must have put my foot too hard on the ground, like I had hardwood floors, and the skunk smell just started wafting up. Like
Oh,
they were in my crawl space. They must have gotten disturbed, and I've never smelled Michelle to this day, and I hope you never do. But the first thing my brain was, this smells wet. It's like, oh, it was it was horrible. So I still had to go to work, so I cranked all the windows open, I left fans on, and I came home at lunch and checked it. It still smelled bad, so I did the whole Lysol and everything again. I had realtors coming over at the end of the day. I had
like of course it doesn't normally smell like this. Yeah, sure.
I know, but the first realtor came in. They're like, we're gonna have to say something about this. And like, that's true. Like, that's cool. You won't be hired. But the second realtor was like, don't worry, it happens all the time. I'll take care of it. That's my guy right there. Yeah. But that's what it is. It's like it doesn't, life doesn't get simpler. But it's. I mean, that's why I say the whole gist is to let people know that, yeah. It takes a lot of work to get here, but it's worth getting here, and it doesn't get simpler. I've got an outro. You ready? I wrote it myself.
Okay.
Life doesn't get simpler as it fills up. It gets fuller. Some things get better, some things get harder. Some of it's life, and some of it's your choice. But most of us live somewhere in between. And it's okay, right?
Yeah, it's, I mean, I'm pretty happy with the result.
I'm happy to. I'm happy to, this is one of them because I'm happy because what I've done in life led to me, sit here today and talk with you on Saturday and just really talk about nothing. I'm just glad to be talking with
We haven't had a chance to talk in like this long in this in a quite a long time. So missed our chats, Tim.
you. No, I just, since I left the company we used to work, I told people before, and one of these days I'll say the name of the company. I'm not sure the statute of limitations is of that, but uh, I don't miss company work at all. I like cat a lot, but I miss people, like yourself, like Sam. And if you're listening to this, Sam, Anna, Praveen, Usman, even Bidyesh, even Kevin, we've talked about. I miss all my friends.
Yeah.
Jeremy, Matt, I can't leave them out.
I was wondering if you were forgetting them in your old age or
No,
or
let's blame that. I've had concussions too, but let's just call it old age. They'll be glad to know if they ever heard one of these that they were an afterthought.
I'm gonna have to text them and let them know that they were there after.
Yeah, okay, I'm looking over my phone right now. I've got them, like Matt and Jeremy are like one of the few texts I keep up all the time. So, yeah, but it's been great chatting today. I'm really glad. And if people have listened to this all the way to the end, number one, thank you. And number two, thank you for supporting Mitch because this is getting close to the 200th episode. So I'm coming on year 5 already, right? But,
Dang, I thought it was I didn't think it was that long.
well, let's do the math. What's 52 times 5 or 4 rather? It's 208, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, and I'll be releasing episode 200 here in a couple weeks. This
yeah.
may tell you what, maybe I'll hold on to this and make it 200.
Oh, that's extra special, man.
It is extra special, and I probably won't do it, but because I just thought I've got a plan for 200 right now. But yeah, this has been great. So thanks everybody for sticking around, and thanks by the way, if you want to go into Venmo, that would be interesting. Not many people do. I've got 26 bucks in Venmo, but if you want to support the Mitch Wonders podcast, there's Venmo at Mitch Wonders, and the new website is up. We got the barbecue reviews on there. We've got some whiskey reviews, some good ones with my son, because he is a professional distiller. But and then every episode you can buy the book. Hey, that'd be fun, right? I just sent one to my sister yesterday. It's only $8.
I'm pretty sure I bought it because it's on Amazon too.
It is. It's on the link. If you click it on the website, it'll take you to the Amazon where you can buy it. And my royalty are like 40 cents per. So I would
Ooh,
appreciate that. I know.
you're getting rich in retirement, man.
I know. It's the only thing keeping me alive is that like 40 cents that comes every 3, 4 months. But thanks, Michelle. This is great talking today. We'll have to do it again.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Tim.
Hey, thanks, and have a great day.
You too.
See you next time.
Bye.